I think we are live. Let me make sure. Yes, we're live. Hi, Ali. Welcome. I am so excited too. Okay, there we go. I got my chat going. I am super excited too. I've been looking forward to this live all day. Honestly, since I decided to do it, which was like no, it was like last week. Um, Anyways, I'm super excited. I've been getting like DMs asking me questions, and I was like, let's just do a live. And everyone can come and just chat with me. So, super excited to be here tonight. Got my tea. Welcome, 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 everyone. I see some more people joining us in the chat. Welcome. So basically, this is a live Q&A session, you guys. It's like a pick my brain session where you guys can ask me anything about coaching. So if you are aspiring to be a coach, or if you're already a coach and you're trying to like monetize your business, trying to find paid clients, then this is definitely the place to ask. So I just want to chat with you guys. I know that I have a lot of aspiring coaches that follow me here on that follow me here on YouTube. So I just love connecting with you guys and going live. You guys seem to really enjoy these lives too. So super excited. So Ali says, "Hello, sweet lady. Good to see you. It is good to see you too. I'm so glad that you're here this evening. How has everything been?" And those of you who are here, I see we have a couple of people here. You guys have any questions? Any questions about coaching, building a business, entrepreneurship? I know a lot of people have questions about like pricing and everything. Ali says, "Thank you, Brenia. Everything is going great." I'm super glad to hear that. Hold on, you guys. Where are my glasses? I don't usually wear my glasses. I usually wear my contacts. So I'm like trying to just. Okay, thinking about opening an LLC. Hi, Brittany. Yes, you should absolutely go for it, Ali. Brittany, what is going on? So happy to see you here. Okay, Ali says, "What are my thoughts on that?" My thoughts are go for it. Why not? Get your LLC. That's my thought. I always say when it comes to like LLCs and things like that, consult a legal professional. But I do think that it adds that layer of professionalism to your business when you have an LLC. I don't think an LLC makes a business. I don't think it'll get you clients, but I do think that it allows you to separate, your business from you, so that can be important in many situations. So I would absolutely suggest consulting a legal professional, but I'm definitely for getting an LLC for sure. Those are my thoughts on that. Hello, Mountain of Inspiration. Okay, wait. It says hello, Coach Brittany. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Do you guys have any questions about coaching? About how to start your coaching business, getting certified, where I get a lot of questions around how to price, how to package services, social media. There's so much that goes into building a coaching business that I wish I had known when I first started. I had to learn through lots of tears and trials and failures, but the beautiful thing about failure is that it leads to success. So super awesome. Even though it hurts in the moment sometimes, but it leads to success. All right. So Ali says, yes, I'm communicating with a CPA right now. Okay, perfect. What am I drinking? That is a great question. So I am drinking, I'm drinking tea. So I love drinking tea at night. This one specifically is a stress relief tea. It's a yogi stress relief tea. I love like rose teas for stress relief, but I'm drinking this one tonight because I already had boba tea earlier, which I think has caffeine in it. So I'm just drinking a no caffeine tea tonight because it's like warm and cozy and yeah. If you guys watch my channel, you know I love myself a cup of tea. I love herbal teas so much. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking. Do you like tea, Ali? Okay. Brittany says, I spoke to some people during via IG and Facebook groups, and they want one-on-one. Wasn't expecting that so quickly. That is so funny. Okay, y'all. So Brittany, I hope this is okay to say, Britt, but Brittany is one of my clients, and she says she spoke to some people using the strategies that we've been talking about, and they already want one-on-one calls. Yes, that will happen. You should totally text me so we can chat about that. But you don't have to, you know, hop on it. You can kind of say, okay, and let them know that you'll be doing it in like a week or so, kind of manage their expectations. But I'm so proud of you and so excited for you. I'm so, so, so excited for you. But if you're ready to have those calls, I have a script for you in module 2 for how to do the strategy call. So you can just kind of look over that if you're feeling up to it. But super proud of you. That is so exciting. And I know it can happen quick. When you have like good strategies for connecting with people and you know exactly what to do, you can get clients pretty quickly. So I'm happy to hear that. Okay. Text me, Britt. Okay, so Moni, I hope I'm saying that right. Moni Hollingsworth says, how to monetize life coaching business. Friends and family think coaching should be considered a conversation. Great question. So coaching absolutely is a conversation. Yeah, coaching is absolutely a conversation. It's a very powerful conversation. So it's a conversation of asking questions, of listening. I definitely don't think coaching is like just telling people what to do. You know what I mean? It's not teaching, it's not lecturing, it's not consulting, and it's not therapy. So it's absolutely a conversation, just kind of helping your client to get to where they need to be or where they want to be, rather. And as far as how to monetize life coaching, typically you make money through your coaching packages that you put together. So you want to come up with some type of an offer to your prospects and your clients. This offer can be a number of things. It can be a one-on-one coaching package. It can be a group coaching package. It can be a VIP day where you like spend 6 hours at one time with a person. You can monetize coaching through public speaking. You can monetize it through a course, which is what I'm working on now. So there's multiple ways to monetize your life coaching business. But those are just a couple of the ways that I have seen other coaches monetize and that I've monetized myself. Ali says, I am thinking of trying an Udemy course about either how to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time, or how to lose weight for business owners. What do you think? So you want to do a course about getting monetized on YouTube, it sounds like, or how to lose weight for business owners. What do you think? I love Udemy. I took my NLP practitioner course through Udemy and absolutely loved it. But I love like courses. I loved school and things like that. And so I do very well learning through courses. So go for it. Go for it, Ali. I love Udemy. And they have courses on there that are pretty affordable. So I absolutely say go for it. And then Moni says, a conversation they do not want to pay for. Oh no. So Here's the thing. To get people to pay for your services, your messaging has to be on point. You have to warm people up. You have to do certain things to actually make people want to pay for your services. So it's not that people won't pay because my business is definitely a living testimony that people will pay for coaching services, but there is absolutely an art and a science to it. And that's actually the problem that I find that a lot of coaches have is that they're like, okay, I'm a coach. Like they either get certified or they just decide that they want to be a coach, but now they're not sure how to actually get clients or how to price or how to speak to people so that they actually want to work with them. So that is a skill. And that's actually exactly what I build my course around. So my course Crickets to Clients is completely built around how to get clients. Okay. So people will pay for it, Moni, but your messaging has to be on point. You got to know your niche. You have to know who you're talking to. You have to know what problem you're solving. Um, what else? You have to know. Okay, sorry. You have to know the problem that you're solving. You have to know where our audience likes to play, where they like to hang out, and your messaging. Messaging is so important when it comes to marketing. So you have to have marketing skills. Also, your prices sometimes can attract a certain caliber of client. If your prices are on the lower end, then you may get some bargain hunter clients who don't want to pay. So be careful of that as well. Okay. Ali says, I am drinking organic Japanese jade leaf tea. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. He said, thank you for asking. That sounds awesome. Okay, Brett says, I just remembered that I have a life coach certification from Udemy, but I thought clients wouldn't take me seriously if because it's not accredited. I think that that is okay. And I think that coaching courses really help you to just kind of understand your coaching flow or like your coaching style or just how to coach during sessions. I think that people will take you seriously not because of your credentials, but because of how you're speaking to them and what you're saying to them and how you show up in your business. So when it comes to people taking you seriously, I would not say that the certification or the things that you got are the end all be all. I think it's more so your messaging and how you're relating to them and how you're treating people and how you're talking about your business and they can see how you're talking about business and they'll make want to take you seriously. That's just my personal belief and what I've experienced. I know people do ask me if I've had a certification, but I don't know how much that makes them take me more or less seriously. Okay, Ali says, I like your necklace, by the way. Thank you. I got it from a website, mynamenecklace.com, years ago. I'm surprised I haven't broken it because I've had like three of these. And I broke one years ago. But this one is holding on. I love having my name because my name is like different and I really like my name now. So I'm like, this is it. Okay, and then Ali says, as Moni said, sometimes they don't want to pay for a course, as basically most of the coaching business is about speaking. Okay, okay. It's all in the marketing, y'all. It's all in the marketing. You gotta market it right, you know? You have to know what you're bringing to the table. Okay, Ali says, Dear Brittany, Tony Robbins does not hold certificates. That is a great point. Tony Robbins is not. A lot of amazing coaches do not have certifications, and they are amazing at what they do. And it's because they have that lived experience and expertise to bring to the table. Like a certification does not make a coach, you guys. It does not, I don't think it makes a coach. Um, so yeah, And then Brittany said, I think self confidence is, I mean, Ali said, I think self confidence is more important than certification. Yeah, I think that self confidence is very, very important as far as people taking you seriously. If you show up, you know what I mean, in a certain way, and you show up with that authority and you show up as the expert, I think that that does mean more to people because I don't know, it's just like you can have a certification, but if you show up like, I don't really believe in my business, then they're not going to believe in it as much either. So I definitely think that confidence, showing up with authority, um, as well as being able to communicate what you bring to the table is like chef's kiss. I don't remember if I knew that Tony Robbins didn't have a certificate either, but I know that a lot of coaches don't. Okay. Elise says, "That's why I wanna start the courses as I witnessed the change myself." Yeah, absolutely. 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 And, I love courses because people can do them at their own pace. So, yeah. Oh, Ali, earlier you were talking about creating these courses. I That totally went over my head. I thought you meant, like, trying a course that was already created. You're thinking of creating those courses. That sounds awesome. All right, Hippie Dippy 89 says, "Hi, hi, Hippie Dippy 89. Hope you're being positive." Yeah, definitely trying to always come with the positive vibes. That's something that I think is so important, especially when you're like starting your business, is just taking care of your mindset. You guys know I go on and on about that, but it's so important. So lately, what I've been trying to do, turning on my ring light. Ooh, ooh, a little too bright, showing a little much. So lately what I've been trying to do in the mornings to like keep just a positive mindset is I am trying to stop scrolling in the mornings. What do you guys think about like scrolling on Instagram in the morning? I know everyone says not to do it, but like I can't be the only one, right? I can't be the only one. And earlier this week, I actually found myself like an hour after waking up scrolling for like the entire hour. And yeah, it was not good. And so I made a rule for myself. I do that with myself, like, I change my routine up to make sure that my morning routines are like strong and um that they're feeding into the type of day that I want to have. And so I find um that, yeah, not jumping on there helps me a lot, and reading, meditating, all of those things before I talk to anyone or before I consume any social media has really, really helped. It just provides a different vibe to the day. So, yeah, that's one way that I'm definitely trying to be more positive, in my life lately. Hippy Dippy says, "Life is always being positive. Life is too short to be negative." Absolutely. Ali says, "There you go. I was about to tell you, you need a ring light. I can't." Ali was about to call me out. It was getting a little dark. It was getting a little dark. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Says, "I always try to make sure everyone is happy." Well, that's good. That's good. Make sure you're happy too. Um, Ray Everyday says, "Hi, fam. Hi. We go way back, Ray. I remember you. I remember us following each other when we were both starting off on YouTube. So, what is up? Good to see you here." That's good, Hippie Dippy. You say I'm always happy. That's great. That's really great. So, do you guys have any questions specifically about coaching as well? I know we're kind of hanging out, but I want to make sure that if y'all have any questions specifically about coaching, that we're getting them all out today. Ali says, I stopped listening to recommendations from influencers, but it depends on the person. Absolutely. Like I have online stores on social, so I need to check my social media, but not reels or stupid content, right? Yeah, I find that I have certain influencers that I tend like that I get inspired by and that after I consume their content, it makes me feel really good. Like right now, I'm following two male influencers on Instagram, and they make like home decor content. And it's not even the home decor part that I love; it's the editing that I love. So, if you guys want to know who they are, um, they're one of them is like Carlos Harris Jr., which you guys may have heard of, may have not. And the other one is his friend Ron underscore Doug. So this guy right here, and then there's Ron Doug, his friend. And basically they make they make fashion and home decor videos, but the editing is like insane. So like for example, right? So it's like cool editing. So like things like that inspire my own creativity are like the types of things that I like to consume on social media when I do consume it. But like reels and just like scrolling is so easy to get caught up in this rabbit hole, especially on Instagram and TikTok. Oh my goodness, it's just insane. But yeah, things that inspire me, I love. So I definitely feel you on that, Ali. Hippy Dippy 89 says, always happy except when your team loses. Well, that makes sense. I definitely get that. Who were you going for during the Super Bowl? And did your team win or lose? I would love to know that. Um, Ali says, I was talking about checking social media in the morning. Yeah, I got that. Hippy Dippy says, what coaching are you talking about? We're talking about life coaching. Ali, Robin Sharma. Love Robin Sharma. Yes, absolutely. Okay. The boss mindset says, do you think a certification is necessary to become a coach? Um, no, I don't. That's my personal views. I don't think that it's necessary. Um, I don't. Do I think that it's helpful for some? Absolutely. I did get certified. Um, But I feel like a lot of the certification courses lack in the business side of things, or at least the one that I went to. Um, so so yeah. That's what I would say about that. But yeah, if you think that it will help you, then absolutely go for it because sometimes peace of mind is important. I did my certification and then I also did a course after to help with the business side of things and I learned like so much during the business course and the certification course, I pretty much learned how to coach, but it was like we did 2 live coaching, sessions, like, in front of the class, and that was like and then we, like, basically went through the book. So, like, if I had bought the book myself from somewhere, and if I had just, like, practiced with people, and I probably would have practiced, like, with more than 2 people if I were just, like, practicing just generally, then I would have had similar to what I got from the coaching certification. So, that's why I say I don't think it's like completely necessary, especially if you come with some type of background knowledge or expertise. But you want to make sure that you are able to market yourself and that you're an expert in whatever your niche is going to be. So like if you're a fitness coach, you want to have some background in fitness. If you want to be like a dating coach, then you probably want to have been in a healthy or like be in a healthy relationship or have gone through several, relationships and learn from them. You want to be able to articulate your theology and your skills and things that people need. Like you just want to make sure that you have a background in the field that you're wanting to coach in. I think that that is super important. And then after that, practice. You can take like a Udemy course, just teaching about coaching and learning about the the style of just what coaching is. And that's some sometimes, like, enough for people to just practice after that. So, yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna say I regret doing my certification course, I don't, but I invested 2 more times after that, to actually build the business side of my business. So I hope that helps. Hippy Dippy 89, you are a big Bengals fan. Oh, so maybe you weren't that happy on Sunday. Okay, Ray Everyday says facts real recognize real if you true and make sense. I listen. I love that and really happy that you're here, Ray. Thank you for being here. Amethyst says true that business side is not teached enough. Yeah, it's definitely not. I don't think it is either. So that's the main reason why I created a course around it. So, shameless plug, we're almost 30 minutes in. So if you are interested and you are someone who you want to become a successful life coach, you want to know what it's about, you want to learn how to turn like your passions of wanting to help people into an actual business, like profitable business, then I do have a course that I offer. It's called Crickets to Clients. And it's basically a hybrid right now, is how I'm running it. So you get 12 months of access to my course, and then you get 3 months of one on one coaching from me. So that's 12 weeks, which is 12 sessions of one on one coaching. Um, with me. And basically, it helps to fix that problem of actually turning it into a business. So you not only learn basics about coaching, and I have you like do practice sessions, introduce you to other coaches who are becoming a coach so you can practice with them. So there's a little community, a C2C community. And but we also talk about sales mastery, how to master that discovery call, how to communicate what you do to people so that it actually resonates with them, how to conduct market research and competitor research, so that people like you're actually validating your ideas with the people who matter. Everything isn't just like confused in your brain. You know what I mean? So yeah, we go through that. Let's see. Hippy dippy, I've been in a bad relationship my whole life. Oh no, that is not great to hear. You deserve better, hippy dippy. You say you're always happy though. So but you definitely don't want to be in a bad relationship. I wouldn't recommend it. You got to make sure you're setting your things and taking care of yourself. It's very important. You're welcome, the boss mindset. Okay, so Brittany says a lot of coaches talk about lead magnets like a free course or an ebook. Could a free discovery call be a lead magnet? It absolutely is. Yes, Britt, it's a lead magnet. So it's when people are interested, they hop on that free discovery call, and that's where you get to learn about a prospect. You kind of conduct a little bit of market research, because especially in the beginning, because you're like learning what people's struggles are, you're talking to people, you're learning how to connect with people, but you're also able to pitch your program. So I would absolutely say that a free discovery call is a lead magnet. I was actually taught in my coaching certification course to do like free sample sessions. So that's like another example of a lead magnet, but I haven't done that. I like free discovery calls a little better. So yeah, that's what I would consider kind of like a lead magnet. Okay. The boss mindset says, how much for the course? So for my course that I'm running right now, it's currently so the price, you have to always check my website to see like the different prices, but mine is currently $24.99 pay in full, and then you can break it down into payments. So that's how much my course and coaching costs right now. Ali says, do you think if I make an ad promotion for a general course, for example, depending on the person's needs, and it is totally adjustable to the person's needs, like I witness many changes and want to transfer that to people, whether fitness, starting a YouTube, starting a business, overcome emotional difficulties. I would not encourage you to make your marketing super general. I think it's important to make your marketing specific so that people who see it, they actually feel like you're talking to them and that it actually resonates with them. So, I would not encourage you making it general. You wanna make sure that you're solving like a specific problem with the product that you are talking about. So, if you're creating a course, I would absolutely make it something specific. So focus on like one thing. So you can focus on how to start a successful YouTube channel, or you can like create your course around how to get 1,000 subscribers in 4,000 watch hours, or how to get monetized on YouTube, same thing. Or you can focus your course on how to start a business. But even that is like general because it's like, I would even say to niche down to a specific type of business that people want to start. So I would just absolutely say, make it specific because, like, for example, it's like I teach in my course if someone were to come to a crowded room and say, "Hey," then you wouldn't know who they're talking to, right? You would be like, "Are they talking to me? Are they talking to you?" You know, so when you're too general, it's like no one really feels like you're talking to them. But if someone says like, "Hey, person with the brown pants and the glasses," or something like that, then if you have brown pants on and glasses, then you're gonna be like, "Oh, they're definitely probably talking to me." And you can get more and more specific to where people feel more and more like you're talking to them. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So messaging is everything. Ali says, how about different separate course promotions? I hope I'm understanding your question correctly, but if you're making like an ad or a promotion about a course and you're doing different courses, and you're trying to like sell different courses, yeah, I would create an ad for each specific course. But honestly, you guys, if you're a coach and you're trying to like become successful with coach, I would not recommend having a bunch of like low cost offers everywhere. Instead, I would focus on creating like one or two signature offers that you like make really, really good, that you can promote to people. So I would highly suggest if you're going to make a course, stick to like one topic per course, and I would encourage you to start off making like only one course at a time. And the reason why I say that is because then you can focus on making that one really, really good and you can charge more for it because it's really, really good versus if you're like trying to make a bunch of little offers and it's like they're just kind of mediocre. Not saying that your offers would be mediocre, but yeah, you just wanna kind of focus in so that you can make your products really, really good so that you can charge more for them. It's like the same as why people will pay more for a doctor who's like a specialist. They'll go to a specialist doctor when they have a specific problem, and specialty doctors, they get paid more than general practitioners because they have a certain expertise, and so certain people go to them when they have that specific problem, and they're willing to pay more for it. So same when you're creating a product, um, make your product specific so that people will pay more for it. Um, Hippy Dippy says I already am. Okay, good. So I'm mostly doing video games and anime because I'm a nerd. Love that for you. Brittany says, I know I didn't get to this part in the course yet, but what do you think about paying for leads on IG or Facebook? So that's actually, I don't really talk about ads in the course, actually, Brittany. I don't really hit on that. I teach more so organic traffic. I actually had a client before who um, paid for ads, kind of like, but it wasn't as what is the word I'm looking for? It didn't really pull in people or they didn't really resonate with it as much as organically connecting with people. So do I believe in paying for ads or paying for leads? I know that some people build businesses off of that, or they kind of do that once they get an audience, or they kind of like just do it. So I do believe that it works, but it's not something that I'm a pro on, and it's not something that I necessarily help with. I'm more so focused on organic connection and finding leads through that. So, yeah. I've even heard of one of my clients now is going through like a different like something called Bark.com. So it's like where you can actually pay a subscription and you can actually get like some leads sent to your email. And then I think you can poke through them and like see which ones you want. But I honestly haven't tried any of that, you guys. I've gotten all of my clients organically. So that's what I teach. But I think it's good to experiment with. If you have, some dollars to throw at those ads, why not? Why not try it? But messaging is gonna be important even with that. Make your ad really good by adding in that messaging, that good messaging. Great questions. Any other questions, you guys, about, building your coaching business? Y'all are asking some really great questions tonight. Ali sounds like he wants to, you sound like you wanna make a course soon, so that's super exciting, and I hope you'll keep me updated, on how that goes. And Ali, do you have any further questions about what I was talking about, like, making your course specific versus having a bunch of different courses? Brittany says, "I've heard of Bark, but it's about $80 to find one lead." See, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really subscribe to those. So, but I'm sure they work for some people. I'm sure they have to. And I'm like, you could just go and find one, but you got to have strategies to be able to know how to communicate with leads, so and get them to want to work with you. I've heard of like I think there's Numi. I almost signed up for Numi. Um, I think it's Numi when I first started my business, and then I saw it was like a fee, and I was like, because I was like, how do I know that this is going to like um, work for my business? It just seemed very like general. So I never bought into it. Maybe one day I'll try and see so that I can tell clients about it. Just try it myself and see how it works. I kind of like doing that and experimenting with certain things so that I can tell people about my experiences. So maybe one day I'll try one of those. All right. Any other questions, you guys? Where are y'all in your coaching businesses, or what are some struggles that you have experienced, just like with starting your own businesses? What have you guys been kind of running into? Any snags, struggles, obstacles that you find have been holding you back from getting started? Okay. Brittany says, "How did you figure out your price for your course? What made you come up with that number?" So that's a great question. For me personally, when I first created my course, well, when I first created my course up until very recently, um, it was kind of more so in beta. And so I knew that it was really, really good, just based off of what I had already been teaching, but I also it was kind of like in beta still. And so I started it at a lower price. Sorry. So I started it at a lower price than what it is now, and had like I think 5 clients go through it, give me feedback, and then I added tweaks, and then I was like, okay, time to up the price. And basically, I based it off of people who were in my market. So I actually took a course that was $1,000. It was 997 for the course, but I didn't have access to the actual coach who was teaching it. So it was just like completely self-paced. It was completely like you just sign into the portal and you just are doing the course by yourself. So that was $1,000 and I tagged on an extra because I was actually going to be teaching them. Honestly, my course started at that 2000 rate and that was I already knew that that was lowballing the actual worth of my course, but I did that because it was in beta, right? So it was like, okay, beta, starting off. So now it's gone up to 24.99 and it'll likely go up more. And then eventually I will not be like doing the one-on-ones with the course. I'll be having my one-on-ones probably separate where you maybe get access to the course, but that'll be like a whole different thing. And then I'll let the course run by itself. So that's what I'm scaling my business to right now. And that's what I'm personally working on in my business is being able to have the course like its own thing for a high ticket price. So that's how I decided on the pricing for mine. I looked at other people who are in the who create courses. I actually did a master class for a course the other day and she was charging $10,000 for her course. And then I think you get like group coaching that goes with it. So that's another business model. So there are coaches out there who are charging 10,000. I remember when I first started, I did another master class with a person who was doing 5,000, 6,000. And those people, you don't have that one-on-one access with them. So I know for a fact that I need to raise the prices. So that'll be coming next. So if you are joining the course now, you're definitely getting a really, really good deal because it's really worth a lot more than what I'm charging right now. But that's just because I'm scaling it right now. Um, and making little tweaks here and there. So that's how I came up with the number. It was based off of market research, also based off of my own like financial goals as well. So like as you guys know, I think I mentioned in my last video that I am doing coaching full time now. So it is my complete livelihood. So I cannot charge like $50. And at this point, honestly, I mentally can't even charge low. Like because I just know how good, my course is and how much I've worked on my product and I know it's good. So my mindset even allows me to charge higher ticket numbers. So yeah, that's how I came up with that number. So mindset is everything. Ali says, yes, the thing is, I'm about everything, and this is definitely not a niche. I am debating whether to start multiple separate courses about different subject matters or focus on one. Ali, I would say focus on one first. I would 100 if you're asking for my suggestion, one at a time. Make it really good, one at a time. Then once you have that one and it's doing well and you can prove that it works, then I would put your energy into another one. But what would happen if you put your energy into a bunch of different ones and um they didn't really like resonate with people? Then you just put a bunch of energy in a bunch of different places without really validating that it's something that works. So I would highly suggest starting with one at a time. That would be my suggestion. Amethyst says, how did you combine your unique program, build your program? So I started off just doing one-on-ones, and then I actually took a course, and that inspired me to create a course because I wanted to figure out a way eventually that I could scale my business. So scaling is like when you're growing your business, basically. And one-on-one coaching programs have a cap because you're just one person and there's only so many hours of the day. So if I was coaching 24 hours in a day, there's still like a cap of how much I could make, you know, for my business. So to scale my business, I'll need to create a different type of product, maybe a coaching program or a course or something like that that can run without me. So I'm just kind of thinking smart. That's how I created my current program. I'm just trying to scale it so I can grow my business. So I love doing one-on-ones. However, I want to make multiple six figures. So that's a goal of mine, you know what I mean? And to be able to do that, I can't just do one-on-ones if I want to keep the prices affordable. So I hope that helps. All right. So Ali says, how much did you start for? My very first client was free, you guys. My very first client was a beta client. She was free. We worked together for 4 weeks. And then I upped my prices to 500. Then I upped it to about 600. And then I upped it to 2000. And then I upped it to 2500. And it will probably go up again. The better and better that my price, I mean, the better and better that my course gets, and the better and better, the more and more that I learn. Um, and the more and more that I can offer and the more money that I can make for other people, the more my prices have to be because my time is at that point worth, money, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So as a business coach, my one-on-one time is now worth money, literally. And so I have to honor that. So yeah, but my very first client was free and I didn't know nothing. I knew mindset, which my background is in mental health, so I knew mindset. Hello, Tootie. Hello, hello. That is another one of my clients. Hi, Alexia. So glad to see you here as well. Virtual hugs for you as well. Ali says, okay, you answered. I was impatient. I can't, Ali. I can't. So Ali says, what is my message again? My refined marketing statement, if I don't mind sharing. So, what I do is I help new and aspiring coaches to figure out how to turn their passions into profit. So, I'm a life and business coach, and I help people who have some type of idea, passion. I teach them how to actually package it and make money from it through coaching. So that is my messaging. And I do that because I struggle to do it. I don't know a course out there that's necessarily teaching, both the coaching and the business side like in one. And so I wanted to create something that was doing that. I'm sure there are a few of them out there, but I personally wanted to create my own that kind of like focused on mindset really heavy as well, because that's something that I had to learn to be able to charge more, to be able to coach from a place of empowerment, to be able to be a good coach for my clients. So, yeah, that's why I created it. Hello, Tony. Hello. I just met you and I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for joining. All right, so Tony says, how do you handle life outside of coaching? That's a great question, Tony. I'm gonna be honest. So, aside from just coaching, honestly, entrepreneurship in general is like I stopped working my 9 to 5 to work 24/7. So I've kind of experienced that and had to find a flow for myself, so that I'm not just like working, working, working all of the time. Because when you're doing something that you just really enjoy, it doesn't always like feel like work. So I don't know if this is answering your question, but basically I had to make sure that I was like learning to take time away from work, that I was making time for my friends, for my family, for myself, to just take like a bubble bath when I want to just watch and binge Netflix, you know what I mean? To just breathe. And so that's something that I feel like I'm still honestly learning, but I'm getting better and better at it as I'm just learning like myself and how I fit into entrepreneurship versus how I fit into my 9 to 5. So I hope that answers your question. And then you say, like, what are some habits that you have helped that help benefit your job? Oh, okay. Some habits that I've built. So I talked earlier about not scrolling super early in the morning. So basically, earlier in the morning, like when I wake up, I always meditate. I recently started reading in the mornings, and I stay off of IG initially. And then I usually will it's like kind of all in the morning routine for me to just make sure that my head is on straight. And then also most recently I've tried to start planning the night before. So like while I'm in bed like the night before, I'll write out some of the things that I want to like definitely get done the next day. So that helps, just so I don't wake up and I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? And then another thing that I'm trying is just like, I don't know, I'm trying to eventually turn to meal prep, but I did try HelloFresh. And the reason is because, and this is not sponsored or anything like that, but I tried HelloFresh because I found that sometimes I would get into work and I honestly was not eating because I was like just working, you know what I mean, and just like lost in it, answering emails, admin, editing, whatever it was. And so you've got to make sure that you're like eating as an entrepreneur. It sounds so simple, but yeah. So I did HelloFresh so that way I can like cook something within an hour. Everything's like prepackaged and it's super duper easy. So this is like that one YouTuber where it's not sponsored and talking about HelloFresh. I'm sure we don't get that a lot. It's like legit, like that's what really helped me to make sure that I was eating. Brittany says, when you don't want your client to be free. Brittany, your first client does not have to be does not have to be free, sis. If I had known what I know now and what I've been teaching you through the course, you do not have to have your first client for free. You can have it for a price that feels comfortable for you. And I think that having your first client for a price, it can help you to show up and help your energy to be different. So your first client does not have to be free if you are comfortable with it. Some people aren't free charging like straight off the bat, but some people absolutely are. And I say, if you are, go for it, please, for the rest of us. If I had known what I knew now, and what I have in my course, my first client probably wouldn't have been free because yeah, because it doesn't have to be. You're already likely offering something of great value. Um yeah. So they do not have to be free. We definitely got to talk, Britt, because I'm like, what do you want to charge? I'm so interested. Okay, so Tony says, I'm glad to be here, but I'll be here a lot more often. That's awesome. I just really want to learn more about becoming a coach. That's great. What questions do you have, Tony? Do you have any like specific questions about coaching? And you guys, I'll actually be right back because my I need to plug in my computer. But while I'm going to plug this up, let me know if you guys have any more questions about becoming a coach. Oh, one of these has to go. Hope you guys can still see me okay. I had to turn my lamp off. Okay, that's good. All right. Any more questions, you guys? Any more questions about how to get clients? Um, what to charge? Okay. All right. So Tonya says, how did you know coaching was your calling? Oh, I love this question. So, my background is in the mental health field. So, I went to school for psychology and sociology, and my last job was working for the courts. So, I was a behavioral health court case manager. So, I handled cases for the courts, and they all had like a mental health diagnosis, and they all had a felony, and they all had, well, not all of them, but a lot of them had substance use issues. And so I always worked in the helping professions. Like before I became a coach, I always worked in those types of like jobs, government jobs, state jobs, things like that. So one time though, when I was working in that job, it did involve people going in and out of jail and in and out of prison. And that actually like broke my heart to just see that. And it broke my heart to kind of have a hand in not exactly sending them there, but just in the entire pot of just like seeing it happen and going to the jails and going to the court. It was just like a lot for me. So I started like researching. I reached burnout actually at that job, which is very, very common in a lot of the helping professions, especially in mental health. So I reached burnout and it was just got really bad. I was like crying every day on the way to work, super sad, just not quite myself, reached burnout, took some days off. And during those like 4 random days that I took off, I started like doing research. You know how we get when we're like upset at our 9 to 5 and we're like, what other job can I get? What other job can I get? And I don't even remember how now I stumbled on coaching, but I was trying to find something where I could like help people like I was, because I was able to like sit down with my clients and be like, okay, what do you want from your life right now? How can you get to this thing? What do you need to let go? Do you need housing? Do you need resources? Like I was literally helping them through case management. And so I sat down and I was like, how can I do this without the going to jail part, the prison part, all of the sad parts of this, without having to deal with like the substance abuse issues and things like that, and hearing about people overdosing. It was just a lot of sad stuff going on. So I ran across coaching, and when I found coaching, I just felt super, super drawn to it. I just felt like this is a chance for me to help people without all of the other things attached to it that I've been doing in my 9 to 5. It's a chance for me to help people to focus on their futures instead of their past. And so I just felt extremely drawn to it. And so, of course, when you feel drawn, you like start diving in and doing all of this research and all of those things like that. And so, that it just felt right. Yeah, it just felt right. And so yeah, that's how I knew that it was for me. Sometimes you just have like that gut feeling that just lets you know that this is it. And so once I did that, I enrolled shortly after into a coaching program, and the rest is history. Okay. Brittany says, "Can I charge 500 to start?" Yes. Yes, you absolutely can. So to charge 500 for a coaching package, a couple of things that you'll want to do is you'll of course want to know what your message is. So give people basically you want to be able to tell them what type of transformation are they going to experience as a result of working with you. What are they going to get at the end of their time together? What value does your coaching package hold? And but absolutely yes, and especially if it's 3 months for a coaching package. I'm thinking you're talking about beta though, which is usually like 4 to 6 weeks. So I would just, and if you want to go like the full on, then I would say charge more than 500. But if it's like the 6 weeks, then yeah, I would say 500 is a decent amount to like have your first client at. And we can talk more about the specifics of your program, Britt, so we can make sure that that number feels good for you for the value that you're providing. And then we can verify that with other people to see how they feel about it, people in your niche. So, yes. Tony says, "How do you get the clients? And do you feel like you have to have a big social media following?" You do not have to have a big social media following. I have a coaching friend who has gotten all of her paid clients via DMs and has a smaller social media following, and she is getting clients in that way. So, no, the most important thing is more so having a good package, having like an irresistible offer, like I like to call it, and being able to talk about it in a way that resonates with people. So, your offer has to be really good. And then how do you get clients? There's multiple ways to get clients. You can get them through inbound marketing, which is kind of where you have like your content and people like come to you. Or you can do it through outbound marketing, which is actually going and finding different clients. Um, and so I teach both in my course. Personally, I teach inbound and outbound. Both are very successful. I feel like the biggest difference is with outbound, you're just like kind of doing a lot of like the groundwork. You know what I mean? Like you're actually going out and hustling and getting clients and like talking to them. And then with inbound, created content or something that draws people in. So, like for example, I do both in well, I no longer really do outbound marketing, but starting off, I did do outbound marketing where I was like actually going in Facebook groups and like DMing people or like making posts that people resonated with, right? So I was like grinding, hustling to get my first batch of clients. And then I started on YouTube and people started coming. Oh, my sunflowers and people started coming to me. And so that's like inbound marketing where people are now interested in my services because of the content that I put out. So your first batch of clients, before people know about you, I would say go for that outreach. So you're not just waiting on people to come to you, but then while you're doing that, you can be building up your social media following, you can be building up your content. But you don't have to have a big social media following, absolutely not. Does it help and would it help? Sure, but do you need it to get started or to get your first client? No. Ricky Lauderdale says, glad to be here. I'm so glad that you're here too, Ricky. Not sure if this has been covered yet, but what advice do you have in setting up a first workshop? So your first workshop, are you talking about like a public speaking type situation? Can you tell me a little bit more about what your workshop what you will want your workshop to look like, and that'll help. Because when I think workshop, I think like a bunch of people, it can be virtual or not, but of course, pre-COVID, it was like a bunch of people coming into a room and there's like an instructor and they're kind of like guiding you through certain exercises to build certain skills, and everyone's kind of there for a goal. Um, so tell me a little bit more about what type of workshop you're interested in, and if I have a good understanding of that, of what you're talking about. Amethyst says, how to know how much to offer inside your program. What is enough? What is too much? Or should you offer separately? This is very specific to what your program is talking about. And it's also specific to your niches. So, for someone who is a mindset coach versus someone who is a business coach, um, they would probably offer different things. So, like, business coaches are probably going to offer more than mindset coaches. And the reason is not because mindset coaches aren't great, but it's because business coaches actually help you to make money. So like if I am like if I'm teaching you literally how to make money, then obviously my services financially are going to be worth more. Does that make sense? Um, so it's very specific to your niche, Amethyst, but yeah, there's like different levels to pricing. Um, it depends on your mindset and how you're feeling. I actually talked about this in my last video. So if you go to my last vlog, I talked about like mindset and how that goes into how to charge for your services. But I'll say as far as like a range, um, yeah, coaches charge anywhere from $50, which I would not recommend, but coaches charge anywhere from $50 to like I've seen people charge $20,000 for a year of one-on-one coaching with them. So it really depends. Um, yeah. And as far as the question, what is enough, what is too much? Um, it depends, but I would say at least more than 500 for any program that you've really made good. And that's on the lower end. That's probably like for your first client. And then you can kind of scale up from there. As far as what's too much, can't answer that question. It depends. Depends. You know what I mean? It depends on so much. And that's one of the best things about being an entrepreneur and knowing about business is charging is a personal choice. Um, and so, yeah, I teach my clients though, different levels. Like I teach them different tiers. So, yeah, got to get more specific to the type of niche that you're in and all of that. Ali says, now what do I do next? I want to be like you. So Ali, I would start. I mean, I don't know if you've already been doing one-on-one coaching, but honestly, you guys, I would encourage doing one-on-one coaching for your first product, like your first offer. And the reason I would encourage that is because it teaches you how to coach. Like it teaches you how to really relate to the people who you're working with. It teaches you how to get to know your target audience. It teaches you how to um it just teaches you a lot in one-on-one. So that's my personal suggestion. I tell people to start with like one-on-one coaching, so that you can learn more about your niche. Versus if you start with like group coaching, now you have all of this like um unless you already have like a background in doing groups and stuff like that, but it can be like very overwhelming to just start with group or just to try to create a course, especially if you haven't verified it with people and you haven't created processes that you can teach people that you know works, right? So the beauty of a one-on-one is that you can start teaching some theories and start teaching some skills and see if they actually work. But if you just like start off and you just create this course, how have you even proven that your methods work? You know what I mean? They might work for you, but do they work for other people? So, yeah, Ali, I don't know if you've already been doing one-on-ones, but if you have and you've already proven that your methods work, then you can move on to like group coaching, courses, things like that. But if you have not yet proven that your methods work, then I would say start with one-on-one coaching and learn how to talk to people. Amethyst says, okay, it's 7:30, guys, so I'll probably be on here for about like another maybe 10 minutes or so. So Amethyst says, so are you saying that YouTube worked better for you inbound than reaching out? Both worked really well. So reaching out, you have to know how to speak to people. It's all about messaging. It's all about messaging, but the difference is that when I was reaching out, nobody knew me, right? So I had to like be convincing, you know what I mean? Be persuasive. I had to know how to talk to people. I had to know how to move people with my offer, move people with my words. And so outbound, I think, is really, really good in teaching you how to connect with the people who you are trying to work with. So I think that outbound is just as important as inbound. Inbound is kind of when you've done some of that groundwork of building that reservoir of content where people can find you, and now people are starting to come to you. But I wouldn't say one works better than the other, but I would say that I love inbound because obviously, like, I can wake up to inquiries on my phone. You know what I mean? Because people are just watching the YouTube videos that I've already put out. And so I would absolutely say that inbound is kind of like that more passive, like where your content is working for you versus me having to like get up and like reach out to 30 different people this week because I'm trying to sign 3 clients. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But outbound is absolutely important, I think, to start off and get your feet wet, you know, and it lets you know if your words are really resonating with people, teaches you how to talk to your people. Tony says, do you feel like you have to have a certain personality to be a coach? I don't think you have to have a certain personality to be a coach, but I do feel like you have to have a certain set of good communication skills. So you want to make sure that you're able to have empathy for people, right? You want to make sure that you're able to articulate yourself well. You want to make sure that you're able to listen and like really understand people and kind of let go of your own biases and let go of your own like assumptions, let go of your own expectations and outcomes. That's something that I struggled with because I'm not going to say I'm a control freak, but I definitely used to feel more so like things had to be like a certain way. You know what I mean? Like I was very much so a perfectionist. And I think one of the things that coaching has taught me is that everyone has their own journey. And just because someone else is doing things differently than how I would do things doesn't make their methods wrong and my methods right. You know what I mean? And so I think that there also has to be that. But I would say with coaching, active listening, being able to really like listen to people and hear them and understand what they're saying to you and help them based off of that is extremely important. Also, being able to ask questions, being able to probe and ask questions. that help people to get to their goals are super important too. But I don't think you have to have a certain personality. No, because like I probably kind of have like a softer personality, but I've seen other coaches who have like more of like that that like tough love personality, you know what I mean? And we both have our tribe. So I think that your tribe will find you based off of your personality that you already have. Um but I do find that confidence helps though. If I had to say like a personality trait or like a characteristic, I would say just like in general, with entrepreneurship, just having that confidence and that believing in yourself, it helps and it can rub off on your clients as well. Amethyst says, I'm in mental health coaching. Okay, okay. Thank you for the answer. You're welcome. I hope that you found it helpful. Pricing is so personal. That's one of the benefits with like working one-on-one with me is like I would actually be able to like take a look at your programming, your niche, you know what I mean? And we would be able to actually come up with a price together. Like kind of how Brittany was asking before. I can say that 500 would be good for her because I'm actually going to look at her I'm actually going to look at her program and we're going to make her offer good enough to be able to charge that on the front end. You know what I mean? So yeah. Okay, so Ali says how to be a coach for someone when you haven't coached anyone before. I'm talking about entitlement and gaining their trust. How to coach someone when you haven't coached anyone before? Coach someone. So if you've never ever coached before, I think Ali, you were telling me that you've done like an Udemy course in coaching, and I hope that they have given you like a coaching session flow or something like that. I give that in my course because I'm like, are we supposed to just like show up and like start talking? But I would encourage you to just start with asking people what do you want to accomplish? Like what are your bigger goals? It's kind of tough when I don't know like what your niche would be, but usually it'd be based off of like your niche. Like my niche is business coaching and life coaching. It's mindset thrown in there. My first module is all about mindset. So my first session, I know for sure that we're going to talk about mindset because your mind has to be on point for you to like step into that role as a coach. You know what I mean? So for you, I would definitely say figure out what your niche is, um, and then kind of start there with the client. Hey, what are your goals when it comes to whatever your niche is, right? So if you're like in the fitness niche, then you can say, so what are your goals when it comes to fitness? They'll tell you your goals. And then throughout the session, you're asking them questions to get to that specific goal. So that's typically how a coaching session would look. Um, in a nutshell. That's a really short answer for it, but yeah. And then I would say just practice. Just practice having conversations that help people to meet their goals. Okay? So that is great. Ricky says, I'd love to speak with you one on one to further discuss my ideas on my workshops because I have so much to say. That is awesome, Ricky. I would love to hear about your workshops. So, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put my contact form in the chat for you guys. I hope that y'all can still see me because I'm going off the tab. Please put a one in the chat if you guys can still see me. Because I'm going into my tabs now. Okay. But yeah, I'll put my contact form. So if you guys want to talk to me one-on-one, if you guys are interested in working with me, you guys can absolutely contact me. I check my emails every day. I'll always respond within 24 hours. I try to respond within an hour or two. Okay, perfect. So y'all can still see me. All right, so here's how to meet with me one-on-one. Basically, what you would do is you would fill out this application form. It's going to ask a little bit about you just to see if you are like coming for coaching specifically or if you're actually interested in like working with me. But yeah, and then I also do like one-on-one consultation calls. So I have my 3-month program, which is Crickets to Clients, and that is for people who are like really serious about learning how to become a coach, how to actually find clients. They want to learn about like coaching basics and what it takes to be a coach. They want to have access to a community of people, of other people in the program. They want to have access to me one on one, like on an ongoing basis every week to be held accountable to your goals. So I have Crickets to Clients, which is my course and one on one program. And then I also offer like consultation calls. So that's just like, for example, if you're planning a workshop or something like that, and you just have like a one off that you want to do, then that would be where you would like, just book a consultation type of thing. So yes. Okay, you got it. Awesome, Ricky. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, any more questions before I wrap up for the evening? You guys have had some great questions, and I'm super happy that I did this tonight. I want to like go live a little bit more on my channel. If you guys haven't noticed, I've been a little bit more active on my channel because I am officially back. The course is pretty much done. And so I'm super excited to just be back to doing content on social media. I've definitely missed connecting with you guys, and I absolutely love these lives. And it seems like you guys like them too. So it's like a win win situation. We just get to hang out and, chat, drink tea, have my candle burning. It's just nice and cozy. Um, but I hope you guys have been doing really, really well. I hope y'all had like a great Valentine's, Super Bowl weekend type vibe. I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves, showing up for yourselves, working toward your goals, being serious about your goals, making 2022 the year for you. Because time flies. It's already February, mid-February. I can't believe it. Ali says, thank you so much for this live. Keep it up. Thank you, Ali. You're so welcome. I'm so happy that you got a lot out of it, and thank you for coming. Tony says, thank you for the advice. You're so welcome. I'm so happy that you're here and happy that we've been able to connect. I'm excited to see you around more. Hope you'll be able to pop into more of these lives. Y'all really showed up today, so I'm super excited to see everyone. All right, Ricky says, thank you so much. All right, so that looks like we're gonna wrap this up. Oh, Araya Hope. Okay, lots of people. Araya Hope says, I'm down by the water enjoying the full moon. That sounds amazing. I love that vibe. My mom is here. She says, great job, Brenya. You've put out some really helpful information. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in, Mom. I love you. Alia says, are you doing a live in person in the future? I just met a client in person and I was so shook because, we've been like through COVID and stuff like that. So she was here in Atlanta visiting for her birthday and I was able to actually meet her in person. So that was so fun. Eventually one day I do plan on doing like a meetup or something like that. If people actually want to meet up, I feel like I'm a bit of a smaller YouTuber right now, so I don't know how many people would show up. But hey, if y'all want to do a meetup, I'd probably be down for that. I live in Atlanta though, Ali. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah, that would be fun. Araya says, thank you for sharing your energy. Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this space with me and for holding space. Says, say my name right. I'm surprised. For those of us who have tough names, mine is Brenya. We gotta stick together. You know what I mean? Hey, Mom, so sweet. Yes. Yes. I love my mom. I can't. Y'all, okay. Oh, shoot, y'all. See, I knew I was going to spill these sunflowers. All right, y'all. I'm about to eat some dinner. I made some tacos earlier. So I'm going to eat those. And I hope y'all have an amazing, amazing night. Tony, you're in ATL. That is definitely what is up. One day I should definitely do a meetup because I bet a lot of people are like close by. Araya says she would show up. Okay, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about doing a meetup one day. I would love to meet some of you guys. So I might do that someday. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'll do more of these in the future. So I hope y'all stay tuned. All right, bye everybody. Bye you guys. Thank you for coming.